Good evening and welcome. Welcome everyone to the Township of Chatham Township Committee meeting for Thursday, March 23rd, 2017. Next up, we have our emergency squad.
Good evening, Mayor and committee and administrators. It's good to see you. I'm Rich Crater. I'm president of the emergency squad. My colleague to my left is Joe Korkich. He's the captain. Other organizations would call him chief, but for 80 years we've used the term captain. So we're going to tag team this report, and we'll try to be as brief as possible given the fact you've got an agenda and you don't want to be here till midnight. Emergency Squad is a nonprofit 501c3 corporation that was founded in 1936, so we've been around a while. We provide basic life support, pre-hospital emergency medical services to the Chathams, the township, and the borough. We utilize 3 ambulances. They're Hortons, they're type 3 ambulances, excellent equipment. And we have 2 stations, 45 Spring Street here in the township and 31 North Passaic in the borough. You've seen our report. We have a mission. There are 6 elements to it. And it essentially, again, is to provide emergency medical life support and ambulance transportation to the residents, businesses, visitors of both the township and the borough. We do provide some transport services on a non-emergency basis. Person has to go to a hospital or some medical facility. We'll do that if we have available manpower. We also render assistance to residents who might find it difficult getting from the home to a car to a doctor's appointment. We respond to that. We move people from point A to point B to point C. We just had one last week. Elderly man had an appointment at the Cornell Wild Medical Center in New York City. He couldn't get out of his house. His son-in-law was going to transport him into the city. We helped with that. You also see us at football games, community events, runs. We're out there. We also help in the case of emergency management and disaster responses, and we provide mutual aid to neighboring towns. We help each other. The squad is a private, self-governed corporation that's unaffiliated. That model's a little different than the other emergency medical services, and it's been that way for many years. We are a member of the EMS Council of New Jersey, and we provide support to all the emergency services in both the township and the borough, police department, fire departments, etc. We also provide supplies to police and fire, oxygen, masks, gloves, and other medical supplies. When the defibrillators are used by the police, we download them on our computer equipment. Qualifications and training. Our membership is very strong. We have a lot of members. We're in great shape. And that just didn't happen. We recruit all the time. Our doors are wide open. We'd love to talk to folks in the community. They might wonder, can I do this? What's this all about? Give us a call. We'd welcome you into our facility, and we can talk about it. Once you become a member, you're a probationary member. You'll go to a state-certified school for over 200 hours. Quite an undertaking for a volunteer. Years ago, it was 50 hours. Now it's 200 plus. So you have to, frankly, admire people who are willing to do that, in my opinion. They complete the program, pass the test, now they're certified. Well, their training continues with us. They're still probationary. We have an extensive training program. They have to understand our protocols, our operational procedures, and they have to go on calls. They're evaluated. And once we believe that they're ready, the captain here will make them active. They're fully active, certified members of the emergency squad. And then after they do all that, every 3 years you have to recertify. And that's time consuming. So that's what it takes to join our organization. We had some highlights during the year. We have 2 new Stryker power cots. These are stretchers that are in the ambulances. This has helped us immeasurably in moving patients from home to the rig to the hospital. It's also saved some of us some backaches. And when we had to have really dead lifts, pick up a stretcher and put it in the emergency squad vehicle, now you hit a button and it goes up, and you push it in, and it's wonderful. They're also $50,000 a piece, and we have 3 of them. So we have a brand new rig 87. It's a Horton. It cost $190,000. And we raised 95% of the money for that, incidentally. So, and we'll talk about your contribution, which is excellent, and we really appreciate it. But one other thing about membership and telling our story, we want to thank the mayor and the committee for, Chatham Township Perspectives. A video was produced about a year ago, and the renowned Hollywood producer and director, Tom Salvis, really helped us with that. He did a terrific job. Where is he? There he is.
The wizard.
There he is, behind the camera. And go to the website. It's there.
Yep.
Please look at it. If you're wondering if you want to join the squad or not, what's this all about? It's full of information, and a wonderful job. What else do we do? We provide CPR courses. We really got into this in a very big way. Over 1,000 people in both communities have been trained on CPR, from the police department to firefighters to Department of Public Works, school employees, teachers, guards, you name it. We had a good recruiting year. We brought on 9 new active members and 5 cadets. We were very happy with that. And what else? We also made a special commitment to being prepared through our training and our supplies for mass casualty incidents. We all know what's going on in this world, whether it's Brussels, Paris, London, cities in the United States where a large group of people are being injured. We need to be able to respond to that, and we feel very confident that we can do that. We've bolstered our equipment and our training. We drill on this, and we have another drill scheduled next month. How to respond to when 10, 20, 30 people are injured. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Joe Korkich. This guy's terrific. He spent his formative years, I think, in the borough, graduated from the local high school. Then later on, moved out to Clinton Township, where he joined the first aid squad and became its chief, its captain. And I don't know how many years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, he moved back to Chatham and joined the Chatham Emergency Squad, and has been a lieutenant. He served in a number of different roles, and he is our captain. So I'm very pleased to introduce him, and he'll take you through operations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. It's true, I am an Esky. For those of you who have lived here a long time, you'll know what that is. Just to talk a little bit about Rich's comments about mass casualty incidents, it is true that we are concentrating quite a bit of resources on developing our expertise in that area. A couple weeks ago, I was talking to, it was a Friday afternoon, I was talking to one of our new members about the type of work we do here, and he asked me what type of calls we go on, and I talked about, our assisted living facilities in town, nursing homes, the respiratory distress calls, but I also emphasized to him the types of transportation systems we have in town. We have trains, we have buses going through, we're in the flight paths of 2 airports. And that night I'm sitting at home and my pager goes off and tells me about a helicopter crash in town. The timing couldn't have been better. As you know, in the borough, we did have a two-person helicopter go down. We responded to that call. We were very fortunate. The people on the plane or on the helicopter were very fortunate not to have been more injured than they were. But that kind of thing is possible here at any time. In 2016, we responded to 1,088 calls, both in the borough and the township. The township accounted for 620 of those calls. We were 451 in the borough. And then 17 calls were out of towns, out of the Chathams, in mutual aid for other communities, whether it be Summit, Florham Park, Madison. Those are the communities we respond to most often for mutual aid. As I mentioned, we do have some assisted living type facilities in town. We had 64 dispatches to Juniper Village, 50 to Chatham Hills, and 5 to Garden Terrace Nursing Home in the borough. Both of those numbers are slightly lower than they were the year before, about 8% lower, but they were very close to the numbers we had in 2014. We hover around 1,100 calls a year typically. As Rich mentioned, we also provide members or crews to football games and other community events in town. We take a great deal of pride in being able to do that. We also have a bicycle team that, if you have a 5K and the size of it warrants, we will provide a bike team. Each member of the bike team rides a specialized bicycle that's equipped with medical supplies so that they can get to a victim of whatever, whether it be a trauma or medical emergency during the race, quickly before our ambulance might be able to get to that person. We are a volunteer organization. As I think Rich mentioned, we're all volunteer. We always have been. We have a robust group of people. Part of Rich's job is to run a small business because that's really what we are. We are a small business with 83 employees. That's one way you have to look at it. We have the challenges of a small business as well. We're divided up into administrative and operation sides, but we work together very closely in a board of trustees to govern the organization. Our report has our hierarchy, if you want to call it that, our organizational chart on it, and you're welcome to look at that. If you have any questions, please let us know. In the interest of time, I'll skip over that a little bit. Rich is going to chat a little bit about community activities, some of the things we do outside of our normal everyday mission.
Yeah, just quickly, we sponsor blood drives every year. Actually, we have 4. And the deputy mayor participated in the last one. Thank you very much. And we celebrated our 1,000th pint of blood last weekend, so we were very, very proud of that. And we also have a snow village downtown in the borough, a train set. If you've seen it, it's unbelievable. And a lot of the scouts come through and other community organizations, and we get a big kick out of that. And I also wanted to mention we have a cadet program. We have 12 students who reside in the borough and the township. The majority of them go to the Chatham High School, but there are a couple of students who go to private school, juniors and seniors. They go through the E&P program. They do everything that anyone else would do. They're terrific. They're our future. And they tend to come back once they're in college. Most of them do, and ride with us when they're on break or during the summer. Did you want to talk more about membership?
Yeah, I can jump in on that. As Rich said, we're very fortunate to have a full membership, but we are always recruiting because we do have people who move out of town, who retire from service, for whatever reason, have to leave us. We are a bit of an anomaly these days in EMS, for volunteer EMS. If you're familiar with our system here in New Jersey, we provide basic life support services. Advanced life support services are provided by paramedic units that come out of our area hospitals. They bill for their services, we do not. Sometimes I have to explain that to patients when they get a bill and call us, and I tell them it's not from us, it's from Atlantic Health. I also get the question often, are you on the Township squad or the Borough squad? And then I have to explain that we are one. But we have quite a strong membership. We have 48 full-time members at this point, 12 cadets who are in high school, as Rich mentioned. They serve 3-hour shifts. Our regular 48 members, each of them are assigned a 12-hour shift during the week, and that's daytime or nighttime. We run 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., and then we rotate our weekends so that not everybody has to, or no one crew has to work both Saturday and Sunday days. We have a number of people who are auxiliary members, much as the fire department does, who do our data collection and some of the other non-EMT type business that's required of a small business. And then we have one physician member who is our medical director and basically allows us or gives us the authority to do the things we do here in New Jersey. As I started to say, we are in an anomaly. Many squads, volunteer squads, are having a hard time getting members. A lot of them are going to paid members during the work week daytime. And to do that, some of them are billing for their services. It's part of our mission never to have to do that. And we don't foresee, at this point in time, certainly, any need for us to start billing for our services or hiring per diem paid EMTs. And we're very proud of that, frankly. I guess the last thing I'd say about membership is not only do we have an adequate, at least at this time, number of members, but our members are very dedicated. We have, as I said, we have a duty crew that's assigned to our first out ambulance 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every week of the year. There are times when we have a second call when that crew is out. We almost never fail to be able to get out that second ambulance. And generally speaking, sometimes when there's 3 simultaneous calls, we can get 3 ambulances out at the same time. The only time that I can remember, or one of the few times I can remember us requiring mutual aid from another community is when we run out of ambulances. We don't run out of members, but we run out of ambulances. And that's rare, but occasionally it happens. Again, to get 3 ambulances out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday is an achievement that we're very proud of. Rich?
Our membership is strong because we have a spirit of volunteerism in the township and in the borough. People care. You have various committees and boards that are staffed by volunteers. You see it, and we see it on the emergency squad. And we're different. Chatham Township and Chatham Borough are different in a very positive way. People truly care. And, you know, our slogan is neighbors helping neighbors, and we do. And it's as simple as that. Now, finances. Finances, we're in good shape. We fundraise. We typically send out a mailing and then a reminder. Our budget this year is $260,000. You're going to help us with $15,000, and the borough will help us with $15,000. So take 30 off of that. We have to raise $230,000. Right now, I'm at $117,000, and we're in the 6th week of the campaign. Last year, we had about 2,400 contributors. We sent our letter to 8,300 addresses. So people in marketing will say, boy, that's great. You know, you got a 30%. I don't think that's very good, quite frankly. I can't imagine not giving to an emergency squad that's all volunteer, and we rely on contributions to run our organization. And of course, people are being asked to contribute to many, many, many things. But after all, like fire, like police, we're 911. I don't think it gets any more important than that. So a plug for the fund drive. If you haven't contributed, please contribute. We really need it. You also help us with our LOSAP, our length of service program. Thank you very much. We had 30 people qualify this year. and that was another $26,000 that you split between the borough and the township. You help us with fuel, insurance, you take care of our driveway. You do a lot of things for us, and appreciate that very much. So we also want to thank businesses. We want to thank community-based organizations. We have scouts who give us money, and they're really cute about it, or they send over cupcakes. It's fine. We have faith-based organizations in the town that most of whom contribute. So it all, as they say, it all adds up, and it's fundraising time. So I think that's basically it for me. You have anything else?
Just the excuse me, the last comment I would make is that Rich mentioned fire and police. We work hand in hand with all the emergency services in both communities, and Rich talked about my experience in other places, other counties, other communities. I've never seen as good a sense of cooperation as I've seen working here in Chatham with the police department, with both fire departments in the township, the borough fire department as well. We work very, very well together, and to the benefit, I think, of all the communities. You can look at our future plans for 2017 in our report. There's nothing there that is mind-boggling. I mean, we are evaluating one medical piece of equipment right now, a mechanical CPR device. These are basically a pump that provides compressions without a person having to do it. Unfortunately, each one of these devices is $15,000, so we're trying to determine how often we would actually use it. Change in procedures by our paramedic units would indicate it might make sense for us because they're spending more time on scene with a victim of cardiac arrest. So we may be there for half an hour trying to do CPR. But that's something we're in the process of evaluating now. And I think that's it. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have for us.
No, I think it's a very thorough report, and I thank you again for your efforts. And I just remind those here in the audience, those watching at home, and the press as well, they can remind folks with our new website, we actually have a donate button on the homepage. And if you click on donate, you'll see the websites for each of these first responders, where you can click on there and do a trifecta and donate to each one of them. So I encourage everyone to go home tonight and make a donation. As you said, you guys are, we can't say it enough. As Kevin said, Karen said, Mike has said, you guys are the backbone, and we owe deep gratitude and gratefulness for all that you do for our community. So I thank you personally and on behalf of the committee. And
thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We've talked about it before, and the cost associated with calling 911 and having an ambulance arrive on the scene as opposed to the Chatham EMS and handling that call, and the differential, what that would be is monumental. So again, just thank you guys. Reiterate Kurt's words. Thank you.
We appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
We actually are aware of surrounding communities that can't get their volunteer EMS up and running during the week, and they actually have to contract out to private emergency services during the week because they don't have nearly the robust volunteer corps to draw from. Personally speaking, I'll just a couple of notes regarding donating blood. I got a text message from the New Jersey Blood Services this week that said, Karen, your pint of blood is now helping a patient in the Hackettstown Hospital or something like that.
Wow.
And I thought, that is really cool to think that what you've done really does go forward and help somebody. One time I needed your services, and who's in the back of the rig but a girl from the Key Club who's like, hi, Mrs. Swartz, and I'm part of the cadet program. So it's so great to see all walks of life from our great community get it in there and really helping neighbors.
Exactly.
Joe, I remember your dad very fondly. From years gone by, we used to bowl together.
Oh, I see.
And we miss him, but it's great to see you back in town.
Thank
and
you.
we'll always keep him in our heart.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, guys.
thank you.
Good.
If I may, Mayor, at the risk of this starting to sound like a PBS telethon, I'd like, since we're doing our public hearing on our budget tonight, to give folks just a real general idea of how much you guys, all three volunteer agencies, save us. You know, we presently contribute in our budget about $3 million for police and the contributions that we make to you directly to help with your operations. I did a little bit of, quick back of the envelope kind of calculation, and I think that $3 million would likely be doubled, if we had to have paid fire and paid EMS. That's about 10 cents on our tax rate. So to help people really understand how much they're actually saving, maybe help them, get out the checkbook and add a little bit more to it to understand that it's an investment, because if you guys fail, we're going to wind up with paid people to perform these services, and then it's going to cost a lot more.
Thank you.
Well said. Thank you very much.